And away we go.
And it's episode 16, part 3. And the big question of the day is, are we living Weekend at Bernie's? And what we mean, for those of you who are too young or too old to know what we're talking about, is apparently nobody has seen or heard from Trump, i.e. no video of him speaking or pictures or whatever in the last 3 to 5 days. And so there's a question of, is he in the
hospital? As of yesterday, or a couple days ago.
Okay,
as far as I remember.
Within the last several days. Let's just phrase it that way.
If he's popped up in the last, I haven't paid attention. But
it would have had to have been the last 4 to 8 hours, because within the last, I heard last night, nobody had... Oh, wow. So the question is, it seems fairly obvious that one of two things is happening. Either he is actually... kicked off, which I don't think that's the case, but that is a possibility. Or he's like in the hospital or something and really not doing well. That's very possible, and it's very telling that the administration is going out of their way to keep it that hush hush. And also, especially considering what they've accused us of in terms of Biden, because while something like that may have happened with Biden's mental health, it's nothing compared to what seems like is going on right now. So which brings up the question that we've been asking and will continue to ask until it becomes an irrelevant question, and that is, will JD be taking over when this actually happens, and what's it gonna be like once he does? Because it probably will be JD, and as much as we don't like Trump, JD's not exactly an improvement. Let's just put it that way.
No, I'll start off with Trump.
Sure.
A couple weeks back, and this is maybe going way back when we first started these. That's not way back, but going back. You were talking about him not making it through because of his health, and I was kind of like, I don't know, I don't see it. But man, you're right. He deteriorated quickly, and I've noticed it now, and he looks like crap. He was out of shape before, but holy shit. And people are saying his ankles and his heart and this and that. And look, these are rumor mill shit. And who knows, it could be all bullshit. But it doesn't look good, and it's starting to add up. And how long does he have? I don't know. Cheney had how many heart attacks? That motherfucker is like Darth Vader. He won't fucking die. So is this going to kill him? I don't know. I'm not there yet. But it doesn't look good. But let's throw that aside. Something's up with this fucking dude.
And it's more.
He
than
doesn't disappear for fucking days.
What,
that guy does not fucking disappear.
A normal health issue, they would say, oh, he caught whatever, and he'll be okay in a week, and don't worry about it.
Even if I saw him on a camera, I'd be like, why is he not talking shit?
Yeah, because normally he won't shut up. That's the thing is, love him or hate him, he normally won't shut up.
Something's up. Anyways, this goes to JD Vance. So here's the thing. Trump is a puppet. And JD Vance is bought and paid for by Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel and JD Vance and Curtis Yarvin, and even to some extent...
did you mention Musk?
Musk.
Yeah, Musk.
Are all in this techno-fascist cabal. And call me a conspiracy theorist. No, read their manifesto, not mine, buddy. Don't read my manifesto. Read their fucking manifesto, asshole. Don't accuse me of conspiracy theory. Read their fucking shit and look at Project 2025 and what they're doing. Look at how all those assholes were sitting behind Trump at the inauguration while you idiots, if you're one of those fucking idiots who voted for him, you fucking morons are out in the cold freezing while these billionaires are sitting in the fucking Capitol warmed up and shit, and you're freezing out in the cold. Isn't that a fucking beautiful metaphor for you fucking morons? So, you're crazy conspiracy. Dude, it's in front of your fucking face. This conspiracy is in front of your fucking face. So, So this is, and the Christian nationalists too. So, they backed Trump. That was their fucking guy with, the Heritage Group or Foundation. And they've been at this shit longer than goddamn Yarvin for the last decade or so with him.
And they're coming out with crazier and crazier stuff. Only it's not. When I say crazy, I mean they're ideas that we think are abhorrent. but they believe them, and they fully intend.
So
to
if you don't believe me that he is a puppet for these two entities combined with the white supremacists who will back any one of these two, because they just want to fucking be cruel to minorities, and both of these fucking groups are fascist and they hate minorities. So they'll back any one of them just to be fucking assholes. So you have the white supremacists, Christian nationalists, and and these techno-fascists, all working together. Now there is a schism, between the techno-fascists and the
evangelicals
and these Christian nationalists, this Heritage Foundation. But basically, if you look at Project 2025, both of that shit is baked in there. That's why there was some contention about this AI stuff and some of these other provisions for technology that the Christian fascists didn't like, And there's going to be a little bit of a fucking war going on, like mafia war, like I said before, between these Christian fascists and these techno-fascists, because they don't see eye to eye on everything, but they certainly see eye on eye to taking over the fucking country, but they're going to battle it out on who gets the ultimate control. So, but don't take my word for it. Read the fucking bill. Look at who's in his administration, and then look at who those administration people are backed by. It's not a conspiracy, fuckface. It's in your fucking face, fool. Like, you're an idiot. You're a fucking moron. But we're crazy now. Like,
for actually reading the things that they publish and watching the videos with their words.
And their manifestos and their bills and what they're doing.
And as I put it, yes, it's easy to take one video clip out of context and make it say what you want. One video. But when you have these same words said over and over and over by the same people, then you start to take them seriously.
Billionaires writing the same legislation, and then it ends up in legislation that passes. What the fuck do you think is going on? You don't think, and all the money that they fucking gave to Trump, and he was just the embodiment. They knew that he could win. Vance can't win. He wouldn't have won that fucking election. That's the only thing, saving grace, I think we might possibly have here, is that if Trump kicks the bucket, my hope is Vance doesn't have this fucking Svengali thing that Trump has. I don't know why. I mean, we talk about it, he's the embodiment of all these fucking less than, competent morons who, this is
all seven deadly sins.
Right, he's their shadow self incarnate. He's the shadow self of the country. He's the shadow self of the people who vote for him. He represents all the things they don't want to admit to themselves and about the country. But they want to see that in action, So that's what it all goes down to. But for whatever reason, I don't think Vance can pull it off. I could be wrong. I don't think he can. I think the crumbling of this system will happen a lot quicker because if Trump does fade out. It won't go away. The shit's never going away. Look, it's going to take hundreds of years for this shit to go away, if it ever does.
Well, and the nasty part is there was a mythology that it had, I won't even say mythology that it had gone away, but that it had receded into the background more than it had. And that myth got blasted out of the water.
It was slowly creeping and creeping.
Yeah.
And then when Obama became president and Hillary ran for president and there was a woman and a minority up in front, center, man, that's when you saw the fucking venom coming out. That's when you saw the backlash. And every time you tried to talk to these people about what they see in Trump and why they hate Kamala, none of it makes sense. None of it. It's not about the economy, because you can just prove everything they say about the economy, and then everything they say bad about her is just not true. And
right.
You can prove it's not true.
On a chat yesterday, and we had exactly that question. He was like, "Well, I still couldn't separate myself from Trump because there was no other option." We were like, "Kamala," and he was like, "Well, this, that, and the other thing," and we're like, "All of those are all false statements. All of those." He was like, "Well,
she's not competent." You mean the person who has been in all three
branches of government,
who has a degree from a prestigious university, who's been no, she's not qualified. But this buffoon who got handed $400 million as a kid, is a silver spoon fed fucking pussy, is like, excuse my language, it's a fucking like, give me a break, give me a fucking break. Yeah, he's like, they can't even make like I said, it's the cognitive dissonance, and then they just get all frustrated and fumbled, and they call you a commie. And then it's funny too, because
speaking of which, should we mention what's going on with companies like Intel? Because the small snippet. Trump is basically engaging in communism. I mean, it's in terms of the merger of state and business, and in a way that goes beyond what is.
Well, so it's very similar but different. Yeah, it's very similar in a sense that there's going to be certain individuals who get preferential treatment, but it's still in a communal system that the ownership is by the people, right? But it just happens to be a select few friends. Whereas in fascism, it's literally a corporation that gets this. So this is fascism. It's not really communism, but I get your point.
Right.
There's a lot of mixture here, but like, once again, though, when you ask people, they'll say you're communist, and then you say, well, what is communism? And they can't fucking answer it or even come close to what it is. And then you say, well, what's socialism? And they can't answer that question correctly. And then you ask them okay, and then there's one guy, he said, well, I'm a capitalist, because he couldn't answer the other two, right? Well, but the guy didn't fucking do it quick enough. I would have said, well, what's capitalism? Explain to me what capitalism is. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to describe to you free trade. It's like, that's not capitalism, motherfucker. You can still have fucking free trade in the socialist system, you fucking buffoon. That's just like, I can't, like, dude, you fucking morons. Read a fucking book before you have a discussion. You're so painfully fucking hard to have a conversation with these
Not to mention tariffs are almost the opposite of free trade. I mean,
right.
Like,
I don't mind
really
debates with reasonable people who know what they're talking about, but when they just say shit, and then they just come up with stuff that gets you so flustered that they think they got, and then they'll say something so dumb, and then a bunch of other dummies will go, gotcha. It's like, no, you didn't. You just said something so stupid.
That I didn't know how to respond.
I didn't know how to respond. Like, it's so dumb. Like, it's like Charlie Kirk shit. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, yeah, well, America had, how many billionaires are there in Switzerland or one of these Northern European countries? And it's like, dude, do you think that's a flex? Billionaires are a fucking flex to you? Like, how's that?
Yeah, millionaires maybe, but not billionaires.
Not even, like, how many millions do you need? That's not a flex. That's a fucking disease for a society and a system. Like, he's like, well, if you had 50% tax rate, how would you even have companies? Oh, so you're telling me there was no companies in America in 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. No companies existed. Like, if I can't be a billionaire, why fucking do it? Like, nobody fucking, like, he can't even fathom in his head that some people just have an idea and want to see it through. Like, he can't fucking comprehend that. He just thinks everyone's a greedy prick moron like him. Like, that's what he fucking believes. Like, somehow that's a flex.
Well, and the funny thing, I was just thinking about business. The actual businesses that get created from anything close to the bottom.
But what about IKEA? What about all these companies that exist there?
But you start with something where you're not actually making a profit, and you
right.
And if you actually gave up the kind of mentality that you're talking about, you would quit on day 2 because, oops, I didn't make a profit.
Right.
What the fuck?
It's so stupid. It's so stupid to think that, like, only people go into business because they want to be billionaires. Yes, psychopaths. Some people just have an idea, or they just like things and they just go for it, and they just do it. Every technology that we have didn't happen from corporations. They might have got investment bankers and things like this, but you get my point.
Yep.
You get my point. Government got us the atom bomb. Government got us to the moon. Government did all these things.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I
almost jumped off on a huge.
All these people did was co-opt it and fucking monopolize it and abuse it. Musk invented nothing. Well, you wouldn't have Starlink. Here you are dissing on Musk. You're jealous. Look, I don't simp for a guy who has no morals, no empathy. How many, like, his family...
And no understanding of half the technology that his companies are involved in.
I'm just going to say, here's a man who is just decrepit human. Just ask his family members and his ex-wives and shit about this man, and his people that worked with him, worked under him.
Well, he's got baby mamas. I think he's only married to 1 or 2. But,
well, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. But,
The guy's decrepit.
Yes.
Listen to his philosophy. Listen to everything about this man. Look at his business practices and what he's done throughout his life. So, no, I don't... Because he's a billionaire, I simp for this guy. Because, like, all of a sudden he's intelligent because he made a lot of money, because he bullied his way, bought his way into companies, lied to the government. He hasn't delivered on any of the shit he's fucking said he was going to do. He hasn't delivered on his cars. He's delivered on nothing. And I'm going to simp for that motherfucker. Because he's a billionaire? Because he coerced?
As you mentioned last week, there are good self-driving cars that are doing a decent job anyways.
Right. Good enough.
Good enough.
Right.
And it's not the Tesla because he wouldn't bother to put in the proper technology because, it was too expensive,
Whatever the case is.
Whatever.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So once again, first of all, you're simping for a moron and you think he's smart because he's a billionaire. And I value people who have empathy. I value people who have integrity. I value people who tell the truth. That's the people I admire in my life. I don't admire asshole fucking fascist, fucking techno-fascist idiots. So you're wrong. He's just wrong. And Starlink? Who gave him the money for Starlink? Would there be Starlink without the U.S. government? No, there would not. So shut the fuck up, you moron. There would still be a Starlink. He didn't invent Starlink. He just got the money, and then we paid for Starlink, and then he pocketed the money.
And then he tried to hook in and everything out there.
Now he's got control of this shit, and we got pirate industry fucking dictating the terms of how we fucking use shit instead of the people dictating the terms of how we use shit. And that's what happens when you let corporations run shit. The opposite of what you fucking think these idiots thought when they were brainwashed from Reagan. I'm the government. I'm here to help is the worst thing you want to hear. No, I'm a corporation. I'm here to help is the worst fucking thing you want to hear. The assholes they had in government in the past. We started off as this new feudal system in America to start up a new, king of white male landowners. Yeah, certainly it was shitty, but we expanded and expanded and expanded, and they just wanted to go back. That's all it is. They just want to go back. They want to make America great again for these guys. And, and I don't fucking simp for these fucks. So, yeah, they got it all twisted and backwards. But, I don't know. What do you want to say?
Well, just that MAGA thinks that these guys includes them, and it doesn't. It is a very small bubble.
Even if you get a company and you become a millionaire.
Yeah, even if you, got 20 million, 40 million, whatever, you're still not in that little bubble.
And you got lucky.
Yeah. And you happen to be white and whatnot, yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of it, right.
Or you were doing something unscrupulous and being a jerk somehow.
Of course.
Right. But that's part of the game. It's part of the business. But, I don't know what, this is all going back to the, Trump and Vance and how this all started and what these guys are at the core, and what's going to happen from here on out. And like I said, until we start to get rid of this mindset that billionaires are good, patriarchy's good, these institutions that we have are good, that we are, the American myth, that we have to deconstruct this at the core to fix this problem. These little piece by piece, a little bit here and a little bit there, is okay. It's little band-aids, but there is a hemorrhaging of this of the soul of America that needs to be adjusted. The literal engine needs to be taken out and rebuilt. And when you're just fixing the carb and the brakes all day long, and you got a cracked engine, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work right. I'm not saying that these little things aren't, and these.
We still need to do them, and
we still need to do them.
Better
but we really need an overhaul. We really need an overhaul on this whole system, this whole mindset of this country, and come to terms of what we really are, who we have been, where we want to go.
Well, and I almost went here and then didn't, and now I'm going to do it anyways.
Right.
The problem is that what is likely to happen, because it's been happening for the past several decades, is that if/when the Democrats get into power, again, they're going to do like Steve said, where, okay, we band-aid this and we band-aid that and we band-aid that. But the Dems who have the bigger ideas and whatnot keep getting their kind of squashed down by the old guard. And as long as that happens, we're not going to get this revolution of mindset, or however you want to. I forget how you put it.
But the sad part is that this is, if we could just get ourselves back to the 1950s, we'd be okay. It's in terms of economically.
Right.
It was all this race stuff that got us bent out of shape and got people to vote against themselves. all this misogyny and bigotry of all sorts that they use as a weapon to get people to fight against each other instead of who the real problem is, and it has been since day one in this country. When these bastards came over here and murdered every person, indigenous population, and then brought in slaves and indentured servants. And that's how this, read about the 1600s. Pick up that book. I've been reading it finally. And a lot of it, what I'm reading is stuff I already knew or heard these stories, but now, I'm reading a more detailed account of some of this stuff. But it's Americans, Howard Zinn, the People's History of America. Pick up that book and read it. Pick it up and read it. If you never heard this shit and how this fucking country really started, you'll get an idea of the bullshit lies you've been told, and the flowery language of the Constitution that, if you really read into, is basically just another, feudal system for rich white dudes, and that's how it started. But it's expanded and it got better, and we just need to get back to the 30s, 40s, and 50s. If we could just get back there, they would call that revolutionary. That's the funny part. It's not revolutionary if you're going back to something you already had. We just need to go back to some of the things we had, and I'd be happy at this point. And then expand from there with all the social, as far as like trying to get together with getting rid of the hierarchies and patriarchies would be the next step. But you're right. We need to get some of this economic stuff situated. And we need to get this also the societal sick societal system under control too, and stop blaming the individual when you can't fix the individual solutions, can't fix the societal problem, because I understand the saying, well, fix yourself first. Yeah, I get it, but that's not going to fix societal. You have to change. Won't actually, yes. You have to change the structure of society. So I can sit here all day long and learn how to tolerate abuse better, and that's fixing myself and healing myself. But until I'm ready to dismantle the systems that perpetuate this abuse, then it's just going to continue over and over again until the end of time. You got fascist assholes like Trump running everything.